Hello viewers, welcome back to my channel. Today we'll be seeing a new topic, that is the Information Technology Act 2000. In this topic we will be seeing Introduction to IT Act, Objectives and Scheme of the Act, Digital Signature, E-Governance, Offences and Penalties under the Act. So let's begin. Introduction to the Act. This is the primary law in India dealing with cyber crimes and electronic commerce. Cyber crimes means crimes related with internet and digital devices. So let's see in brief about the Act. Information Technology on 9th May 2000. It enacted and asserted on 9th June 2000. It was enacted by Parliament of India and the Act commenced on 17th October 2000. It was introduced by Mr. Pramod Mahajan, Ministry of Communication and Information Technology. It shall extend to whole of India and save as otherwise provided in this Act. It applies also to any offence or contravention thereunder committed outside India by any person. Objectives of the Act. Let's see what were the reasons for the formation of the Act and its necessity. To grant legal recognition to all transactions done via electronic means, to give legal recognition to digital signatures for the authentication of any information or matters requiring legal authentication, to facilitate the electronic filing of documents with government agencies and also department, to facilitate the electronic storage of data, to give legal sanction and also facilitate the electronic transfer of funds between banks and financial institutions, to grant legal recognition to bankers for keeping the books of accounts in electronic form. As we all know, the developing technology comes with pros and cons. So, to regulate the workings done in this digital era, there was a need for a regulating authority and hence the enactment of IT Act. Now let's see the scheme of the Act. Scheme means what all sections and chapters are under the Act. So let's see these one by one. The IT Act contains 13 chapters and 90 sections. Chapter 1 deals with short title, extent, commencement and definition. Chapter 2 deals with authentication of electronic records, digital signature, etc. Chapter 11 deals with offences and penalties. Now let's see some of the important aspects of the Act. The first one is digital signature. Digital signature. It is a way to ensure that an electronic document is authentic. So here, as we know, the term signature, you, me, every one of us use signature in banks, offices and other such important places. For example, the check gets valid only when the signature is done by the account holder to transfer the money. Same is the case with digital signature. When any document is sent in electronic form, it must be validated by digital signature. The IT Act defines digital signature under Section 2, Subsection 1, Clause P. According to Section 2, Subsection 1, Clause P, digital signature means authentication of any electronic record by a subscriber using an electronic method or procedure. That means that when a person, say subscriber, sends any electronic record in the form of electronic method or procedure, it is to be authenticated by using a digital signature. For the purpose of authentication, the IT Act provides for a section, that is Section 3, which depicts authentication of electronic records. Any subscriber can authenticate an electronic record by affixing his digital signature. Private key is used to create digital signature and public key is used to verify digital signature. Both keys are unique for each subscriber. Authentication shall be effected by use of asymmetric crypto system and hash function. They transform initial electronic record into another electronic record. Thus, for authentication of electronic record, the subscriber, that is the person forming electronic documents, must know about the process of forming e-document through hash function and asymmetric records, or say asymmetric crypto system. Then, to validate such document, he must use private key and public key. That is, these keys are the key pairs with a unique sequence of numbers and digital signature. Now let's discuss all these terms with one example. Let's say A wants to send a e-document or message to B. So the process used here is A uses private key and sends the message and encrypts it. After using private key, the message goes for signature generation. For signature generation algorithm is used, and in this way A's digital signature is generated. Now these message sent by A and digital signature is received by B. But how will B know that the message is sent by A and is valid? So B will decrypt this message by using A's public key. These private and public keys are unique sequence of numbers and will verify signatures by using signature verification algorithm. If it gets authenticated that the message is from A, then it is valid. If through decryption or signature don't get verified, then the message is invalid. Here there is a rule. When a person using private key to encrypt a message to send another, the other person decrypts it by using the public key. Digital signature plays a very important role in e-commerce and online transactions. It is used for message authentication and integrity. Signature must use unique info or keys to prevent forgery or denial. Next, let us see about e-governance. E-governance is the application of ICT, that is Information and Communication Technology, for delivering government services, exchange of information between government to customer, government to citizen, or government to business and government to government using electronic system. E-governance is the delivery of government services and information to the public using electronic means, that is the information technology, giving citizens the choice of when and where they access government information and services. It provides for rules, procedures that can be made transparent to the citizens. Cyber Law or IT Act is specifically enacted for easing and securing the process of communication in online manner. IT Act provides specific sections for legal recognition of electronic records and digital signature, which comes under e-governance. Section 4 deals with legal recognition of electronic records. Section 5 deals with legal recognition of electronic signature. Section 6 deals with use of electronic records and electronic signature in government and its agencies. Section 7 deals with retention of electronic records. Section 8 publication of rule, regulation, etc. in Electronic Gazette. Section 9 it deals with the sections 6, 7 and 8 not to confer right to insist documents should be accepted in electronic forms. Section 10 power to make rules by central government in respect of electronic signature, and Section 10A validity of contracts formed through electronic means. These all sections help to regulate the information provided in online manner and to authenticate the same. You will find the detailed notes in the link below. For effective working of the provisions, the Act provides for certifying authorities. They are regulated through two structures. First, regulation structure, which consists of Government of India, Controller of Certifying Authorities, Deputy Controllers and Assistant Controllers. Second, judicial structures, which consists of Supreme Court, High Court, Cyber Regulation Appellate Tribunal and officers. They ensure the effective working of legal provisions and provide for procedures and dealing with cyber crimes. Chapter 11 provides for offences and penalties under the Act. So let's see some of them In brief, some important sections of Information Technology Act 2000. Section 65 deals with a crime related to tampering with computer source document. Its penalty is 3 years imprisonment and a fine of rupees 2 lakh. Section 66 hacking with computer system. Its penalty is 3 years and a fine of rupees 5 lakh. Section 66B deals with a crime related to receiving stolen computer or any communication devices. Its penalty is 3 years imprisonment and a fine of rupees 1 lakh. Section 66C using password of others. The penalty here is 3 years of imprisonment and a fine of rupees 1 lakh. Section 66E the crime publishing private images of others. The penalty given under the Act is the imprisonment of 3 years and a fine of rupees 2 lakh. Section 67A provides for publishing images containing sexual act. The penalty given under the Act is the imprisonment of 7 years and a fine of rupees 10 lakh. And Section 67B deals with publishing child porn. The imprisonment given as a penalty is 5 years and a fine of rupees 10 lakh. So these were some of the important aspects of IT Act. You will find a link for detailed notes for the same. I hope you like the video. Thank you.